about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. RP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of 24 Hours Script. Let's get right into today's video. The Hinman emails are out. The AUDD Australian dollar is on the XRP ledger. There is so much good news coming out. The SEC should basically just dig themselves a grave because the information we're going to go over today exposes them on a very, very corrupt level. ETHgate is real. Before we get into the video, I want to set the tone. Take a listen to what Vitalik said here. This was in regards to the 2017 bull market when the market cap reached about $500 billion, so 500 billion, and he advised his foundation to sell Ether. And he basically speculated and tweeted out, which we're going to get into the full video later on. But take a listen to this mini little 17-second video to set the tone for today's video. And then we're going to get into the hardcore facts.
But you didn't short it, did you? So I did get the Ethereum Foundation to sell about 70,000 ETH, like basically at the top, and that's doubled our runway now. So,
and he was so sketchy answering that question like he didn't want to say it. However, let's move on. Novati's Australian dollar backed stablecoin AUDD is live on the XRP ledger. A leading fintech enabling businesses to pay and be paid is pleased to announce that its one-to-one fiat-backed stablecoin AUDD is now live on the XRP ledger. AUDD will be available for a direct one-to-one swap of fiat Australian dollars via the XRPL. Transactions on the XRP ledger are both fast and efficient, low cost. You guys already know this, but this is the tip of the iceberg. The AUDD is coming. These coins are going to utilize the most efficient digital bridge currency and the most liquid and the most scalable and frictionless asset. So they're not going to have a choice to go to Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're going to use whatever is working the best and already has the highest level of regulatory clarity. Let's move on. So much documents came out today, but take a listen to this. This whole speech wasn't even supposed to come out. On June 12th, the SEC's Office of General Counsel proposed deleting the draft's language about Ether in its entirety writing. They weren't even going to do it. And now, jumping to David Schwartz's tweet, I definitely shouldn't retweet this. Again, he's lingering on the 589. Apparently a product came out and you could get this quantum processor for the low price of $589 on Amazon. Why is 589 still lingering around? Is 589 possible? Absolutely 100%. We'll get into it on a different video. Now let's get into Vitalik, Ripple, and the Hinman emails. In 2020, Vitalik tweeted this out. Now it makes sense because this is a very ballsy tweet, and the only reason that he tweeted this is because he had phone conversations with the SEC. He went on to say, looks like the Ripple XRP team is sinking to a new levels of strangeness. They're claiming that their shitcoin should not be called a security for public policy reasons, namely because Bitcoin and Ethereum are Chinese controlled. That's a fact. He's stating the fact they are Chinese controlled. But for him to make a statement like that right after they got sued, and then we have evidence that Vitalik spoke to the SEC. We're now going to get into Lupin in today's video because Vitalik is our guy, corrupt, and the SEC was involved fully in this. Does he have mixed emotions with the Ripple team? Ashish Birla tweeted this out, and Ashish Birla is still within Ripple. He's been there for 10 years. He's a director. When Vitalik was at Bitcoin Magazine, he had worked out of Ripple's office back in December 2013. Ashish went on to say, I remember him talking about early smart contract concepts. We made him an offer to be an intern at Ripple, but couldn't get the visa sorted out, and he'll later speak at our first Swell conference. So unfortunately, Ripple handed Vitalik an internship And then years down the line, Vitalik basically calls out Ripple XRP as a shitcoin. Make it make sense. And his visa didn't work out. What are the odds? I'm very glad it didn't work out because personally wouldn't want to be working with an individual like this. Everything happens for a reason. You can make these two up. There is a lot of political stuff going on in the back end, but I'm sure you guys could all agree. Let me know in the comments down below. This tweet by Vitalik was very aggressive because he knew he had the SEC in his back pocket. And these Hinman emails are going to reveal that to you. So this is it. This is how it's looked like. There's a lot here to go through. We're going to go over some main pointers. Take a listen to this. So this is Hinman. Attached, please find a draft of the speech I had mentioned, which suggests that we do not need to see a need to regulate Ether. So Hinman is saying we don't need to regulate Ether as it is currently offered as a security. But since when, right? That language is in brackets and would be used if we are all in agreement. We also have a call with Buterin, that is Vitalik, later this week to confirm our understanding of how the Ethereum Foundation operates. Well, I'll tell you how the Ethereum Foundation operates. You guys heard it in the intro. You sell high, buy low. 70,000 Ethereum when it was all-time highs in 2017. And Vitalik, I'm sure everybody understands when the market is at $500 billion and you're selling 70,000 Ethereum, the market is going to come down. You don't need to go to MIT to figure that out. Okay? Let's move on. Take a listen to this part right here. So this speech got edited because Hinman, obviously this was back in 2018, so ChatGPT wasn't there. Likewise, based on our understanding of the present state of Ether and Ethereum networks, regulating the offer and sales of Ether as security does not seem to be warranted. So it was crossed out. The teacher said, don't put that in there. Put in would not appear to further the policy objectives of Securities Act. But this is where things are going to get real good again. Take a listen to this little note that the teacher put. If Bill and or the chairman office wants to make a blanket statement that Ether is not a security, bearing any changes of thought based on meeting later this week with Buterin or his counsel, we will need to discuss this further internally with Brett. Who is Brett? Well, let's take a look. This is his LinkedIn. This is Brett. He is currently head of capital markets at Coinbase. Oh, take a look. Director, Division of Trading Markets. He's not there anymore. He was at the SEC, and then he was at JP Morgan for almost 10 years. And what Brett said in that email right here, take a listen. As written, the language remains vague as to whether ETH is a security. If you want to make an affirmative statement that is not a security, the language could be stronger. Just say it. If you don't want to take affirmative stance, we suggest using language similar to what you used for Bitcoin. The disclosure regime to make it more consistent. Otherwise, it is unclear why Bitcoin references that the disclosure regime and Ethereum primarily references resale activity. So Rob is basically saying, word it weird, make it seem not like a security. The corruptness, ladies and gentlemen, has come out. And now take a listen to this full clip by Vitalik Buterin. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Smash that like button. This is a massive day. Hinman emails are out. Now we just wait and see what goes and happens next. With that being said, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we will be back with another video.
Assume that your net worth crashed a great deal. It got run up and then came back down. It
did, yeah.
And were you happy in any way about that?
Relieved.
Relieved.
Yeah. So when right at the top of the big bubble, like in December 2017, when Bitcoin was hitting 20,000, ETH was hitting 1,400. I made this tweet, and a series of tweets, and that kind of became somewhat famous within the space, where I basically said the cryptocurrency space has reached $500 billion. Does it deserve it? Like, do the things that it's actually accomplished, like, hold a candle to the promises that the market is ascribing to it? And I mean, the subtext of my answer is not yet, and I was proven very right fairly quickly. But
you didn't short it, did you?
So I did get the Ethereum Foundation to sell about 70,000 ETH, like basically at the top, and that's doubled our runway now. So
we started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening.
Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.